Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome to a best of 5 here, starting on hard. Spawning in the top left as our red Protoss player playing for Team Liquid. It is Skillus. And in the bottom right as our blue Terran player opening up with not one, but 2 gases. It is Hero Marine. Quick factory here as well for the madman. As, this is one of the builds that he likes playing. He loves just throwing in a cheeky little double gas opener in honestly most best of 3s. And also most best of 5s. The longer the series, the more likely there's going to be at least a single double gas opener. Completely pulls out a gas, by the way. This is extremely rare to see. So usually what happens in this matchup, if you play a fast factory double gas opener, is that you continue mining with at least 3 workers. But here, Hero Marine went for a complete pull out. It's going to allow him to get a slightly faster command center perhaps, but he's going to have way less gas. Look at that. He's nowhere near having the gas for a starport here. Perhaps that just isn't his goal though. Yeah, he's just going to get a second barracks here. Oh, he's going to get scouted. This is real sloppy here. Real sloppy coming out of Hero Marine, honestly. Not entirely sure why he would let that Reaper back in. But that is a pretty... or that Pro back in. That's a pretty significant error. Because now Skillus knows that there's not going to be any serious threat. He saw that was a barracks. All he needs to do at this point is get a battery on the low ground. And a battery on the high ground. Not entirely sure about that one. But the battery on the low ground, I am very sure about. That is a good call. I don't really have to worry about any mine drops, about potential armory plays. We have the 3rd barracks being thrown down here as well. And a minor move out right now with 2 Reapers as well as a Cyclone. And then the question here is going to be, how will Hero Marine follow this up? To me it seems like he's not going to be going for major tank production, but instead he's just opting to go for some quick double tech labs, stim, combat shield, and probably adding a starport at some point as well then. So sometimes we see this particular build with a tank push added in as well, but in that case most of the time the factory doesn't spend its time building tech labs, but the factory spends time building tanks, because if you want to do a tank push, it is nice to have your tanks, well, as many as possible, as early as possible, of course. As, I really like Skillus' position. His eco is going to be quite powerful here. It's going to be up 6 workers for now. Meanwhile, Hero Marine already adding some Marauders here, by the way. That is really early on in the game to start adding in Marauders. Also is delaying his eBay. There's no starport. So this is not going to be a really hard-hitting push with 2 medevacs. It might even just be a medium-hitting push here with a bunch of Marines and Marauders over at the 3rd base. I'm not entirely sure what we're looking at here. Gonna have to be real with you all. Usually, you kind of look at a build and you can figure out what the goal of the build is, but here, I can't really figure it out. I don't know what this is strong against. Because he doesn't have a whole lot of aggression. He's not hitting super fast with like 3 racks. I guess he's going to hit, yeah, at like a medium fast timing with 2 medevacs and a very high Marauder count. The insane thing here though is had this been a charge build coming out of Skillus, so blink into charge, this would have been really bad because Marauders are, well, not great against Zealots, and you just build a lot of Marauders. Cuts into your Marine count overall as well, of course. You have some Stalkers in the middle of the map. Let's see if we can take anything out. Targeting the wrong units here, going for a Reaper, a Marauder. I like the Cyclone going down. Battery is done already here in the back with these forward batteries. Oh my god, this is a lot of damage actually. I was wondering what this is good against. Apparently this is good against pretty much everything, as Hero Marine's just straight up walking in. Immortal wasn't quite done yet. Holy crap, the damage output on those Marauders is pretty nutty, honestly. 4 workers do end up falling, as Hero Marine is going to continue his journey up towards the main base. I don't think he's going to get much more done though. 45 workers to 48. Colossus going down. This Adept probably is going to fall. No, quick shade away here. Well done by Skillus. The Colossus now halfway done. I'm really curious to see how these guys are going to be playing this out. Single Marine drop. And 2 Marauders as well. It's one hell of a move out. And this is just going to be a drop towards the main, right? Like, I'd be surprised if this is an attack towards the third, but he seems to be going for it right now. Yeah, Skillas also believes this is going to go towards the main. Look at that. He's moving in position to try and stop a drop or maybe find some units here out on the map. Oh, here comes a big stim forward coming out of El Gabriel. Yes, the Colossus is here in the army. He's going to get one swipe in with the lasers on these Marines. It's a lot of damage instantly, of course. Supplies are fairly close. Let's not forget about that. 5 racks after the 3rd CC. Armory on the way here as well for Hero Marine, which means that this is, yep, a mine drop. So double mine drop when the armory finishes up. It's going to make life pretty freaking difficult here for Skillas. Lots of threats right now on the map. Not sure how ready he is to deal with all of that. Forge going up in the main. 2 more gates going up as well. Gonna bring the total of gates up to, what is it? 4, 6, 7? Yeah, 3 more is gonna bring the total up to 7. Here comes the mine drop. Skillas, are you paying attention? Yeah, he is paying attention. Does he have an observer somewhere nearby though? No, he's gonna start a new one. I think that is a very good call. This mine's now getting the shot off. 3 workers go down. And it's going to cost a little bit of attention and energy here for Skillas to actually take care of this problem. Fort base is something he wants to start right now. Stalkers and Colossus in a weird position. Needs to move back towards a battery, but there is no battery. Marauders unload and drop on top of that Colossus. Take it out. These Zealots do not quite have charge yet, and as a result will all fall. Hero Marine here might just be taking this first game without too much trouble. 13, 14, 15 workers going down at the same time. Okay, mines have been taken out, but 25 workers falling. I think that is pretty much enough over here. 65 supply to 120. We have a push coming towards that 3rd base as well right now, where, well, there are no units. GG's gonna get called as Hero Marine. Takes game number 1. After I criticize the build, he shows me, you know what, this build is freaking good. Easy wins here for the German Terran player. And that brings us to map number 2 in this best of 5. And that's going to be Rådhuset Station, which has seen more playtime in the last Home Story Cup, which this series is from, than we've seen Rådhuset Station being played overall, I think, for the past, what, a month and a half, 2 months or so that it's been in the map pool. This is a phenomenal map to beat Terrans on, let me tell you that much. Absolutely love it in the Protoss versus Terran matchup, due to the in-base 3rd base, the easy to defend 4th, and then, yeah, that's basically it. You just get a free mid to late game, basically. Very often Terran players get the most damage done or get ahead in the game in the first 7-8 minutes. It's very difficult for Terran to get ahead in this, or on this map, I should say. So we saw Skillas go for a quick little scout here after opening up with a low ground gateway, as well as a low ground cybernetics core, and now throwing down a Stargate on his high ground. This adept is not quite going to be out yet, and Hero Marine as a result might get a kill or 2 here with this Reaper. At least it's going to get some serious scouting information, while behind this is playing a triple CC build order into a 2nd barracks. Okay, so Reaper into triple CC has killed nothing quite yet, but does get the full-on scout, and at this point the Reaper is practically useless. This is just a tool to keep the watchtowers occupied with. Like, that is all you're going to be capable of doing right now with this Reaper. 3rd barracks on the way as well here for Hero Marine, as the Reaper decides to actually sneak by over here. He's going to die. Wanted to see what unit is being popped out of the Stargate, but honestly, yeah, you can just cancel it. It's not like, oh, Skillas started a Phoenix 3 seconds in. It's now impossible to change path. It's like, no, Skillas knew exactly what he was doing. So with a little fake over here, follows up with a Twilight Council as he starts working on these mineral patches that are currently blocking his potential 3rd base. Wouldn't have minded seeing an even faster 3rd, by the way. It would have been insane. You can't do that on this map. So we have a 4 Marine move out right now. Reaper into Reactor straight away. And that's trying to make its way across the map. It's gonna finish up, actually. It's definitely gonna finish up. One SCV is going to die here. Second SCV might end up dying. No, instead we see a focus here on the Marines. Oracle now moving across the map as well. These 4 Marines believe there's going to be a Phoenix, but it is an Oracle, and that's going to deal some serious damage here in towards the natural base, as 1, 2, perhaps 3 workers will end up falling, and that not really being microed properly, but it's going to be fine anyway, as, yep, there we go. 3, 4 workers end up going down. We get a scout perhaps with this Oracle as well towards the main base. I think Skillas already knows what he's up against though, and now he definitely knows. He sees the double barracks, he sees the third CC. Full information here for our Protoss player playing for Team Liquid. He'll know exactly what's kicking off. He has no issues right now. He knows what's good. He knows what's good for sure. Triple gas, or sorry, triple gate. Quadruple gas actually. So 4 gases going down. I'm kind of expecting a robotics facility because of that. I'd be really surprised to see something else. Technically possible to go into a Templar Archives. Now Hero Marine's the one moving across the map. This move carries a little bit of risk. Because if Stalkers spot this and start moving on the map to start kiting it, that could be bad. That could be seriously bad. Marines now heading back home. More Marines being sent out. Not a huge fan of that. Stalkers moving on the map. I think the sentry probably should stay at home though, buddy. Don't want to have that in your army on the map. 4th base starts as well. 5 minutes and 23 seconds in. We're gathering a lot of gas. But we're not doing anything with the gas. There are no forges. There's no robotics facility. No Templar Archives. Now we get a robo. 5 minutes. What? 36 seconds into the game. That is extremely late, as Hero Marine decides to take the forward 3rd base rather than the in-base 3rd, which I also hadn't quite expected, and I believe actually to be a bit of a mistake. Stim is done, but so is Blink, and that means that these Stalkers can just easily move back. This is very frustrating here for Hero Marine, who is forced into stimming with his entire army. Half of this stimming force, by the way, is going to run out, I think, a bit early. No? Oh no, all at the same time. That's my bad. Thought some of them had stimmed a bit earlier, but I guess not. Here we go. Turns around once more with the second stim that gets used. There's medevacs coming out in about 25 seconds from now. One more revelation is going to hit as the Oracle stays alive. Stalkers here being fairly annoying. Double forges, double robo bait charge. So much investment right now into the future here for Skillas, who almost gets surrounded. But not quite. Loads of stims being used. As that's going to take these medevacs a little while to get everything back to full health. It's the one thing that I do know for sure. These bad boys only 35 HP. Can we get another revelation? We definitely can. 4 gases, Prism on the way. No upgrades have started quite yet. A little bit surprised by that. What's the gateway count? Only at 3. It doesn't feel like Skillas has so many units, no? It actually feels like Skillas has almost no units. He has 6 Stalkers, 5 Zealots without charge so far, and an Adept. Charge might finish before this Bioforce is going to hit, but these Colossi definitely won't. We have sentries, that is helpful. We have a battery, that is extremely helpful. Stalkers, however, not really in position. Observer hasn't spotted this move out either. Here comes the push in out of Hero Marine. Doesn't feel comfortable enough to just run in. I mean, there are 3 sentries, so that is understandable. This Marine's going to get taken out as well. Stalker's still just kind of roaming around. So a sentry-based defense here coming out of Skillas saying, hey, it's nice that you have bio, but I have force field. Can't run in. Once the double Colossi finish, of course, then this push is pretty much over, I think. I don't think it can do very much. We have cannon plus battery in the net. We have cannon plus battery, or sorry, in the 3rd and in the net. 4th base on the way here for Hero Marine. And I think Skillas is already looking at a 5th right here. 3 more gateways as well coming in, 1-1 upgrades. I'm not sure why both of these Colossus are in the natural. I guess because he sees where this army is. And he's like, well, that doesn't look so scary. Now it's just moving 1 Colossus over towards the 4th base. Maybe with good force field should be capable of holding this. So far no force field whatsoever. These are pretty okay, but the battery has gone down already. Mines are actually going to finish burrowing as well. That means we get a shot here on the Colossus. As number 2 shows up as well right now. Link forward. I mean, this feels fine for Skillas. It really does. Prism moving in towards the main base, or I guess the 4th base, all at the same time. So this depot is going to get taken out most likely. The spotter depot did its job as 2 Vikings are being produced. There are no Vikings out quite yet. 1-1 finishes up here for Skillet. Wants to start 2-2. A big Zealot warp in though. That might have been a mistake. Needs to recall some of these Zealots because this is going to be real expensive. A Hero Marine just sends 3 mines to deal with this. I'm not sure if that is actually viable. Yeah, it is. Somewhat viable. Get another big warping in towards the main base here. As this prism is going to get taken out by the Viking is the only thing I can imagine. Zealots moving in towards the natural where there are a couple of Marines and Marauders. They're being sent away though towards the 3rd base. Hero Marine with a sloppy defense, slow to respond towards the natural, loses 16 SCVs. Prism still alive, but for how much longer I don't know. As the 2-2 upgrades have started for both players. There is a good Colossus count right now for Skillet at 4. It has a pretty random amount of Zealots here still at the 4th base as well. Skillet's 85 workers to 61. Do we have a Ghost Academy yet? I don't think we do. Oh no, we do. We do have a Ghost Academy. Do we have Ghost yet? No, we definitely don't. First 2 do start now. Sensor Tower on the way as well. 5th base probably will be a little bit delayed. Might want to get extra barracks before you get the 5th. I could be wrong about that though. But to me it makes the most sense to get those extra barracks. I'd be surprised to see this turn into a planetary, by the way. Most likely just going to be 4 orbital commands, which is going to be quite nice. What? Actually does turn it into a planetary, which is wild because this is not an area that can be seriously attacked. These are just habits, you know. 4th base turns into a planetary, but he ain't thinking about it. I mean, this is a really easy base to close off with turrets, with some mines. You definitely don't need a planetary here. I'm very surprised / confused by it. As I say that though, rocks here are being taken out. Perhaps some mineral mining could happen as well. In that case, he's going to be happy that it is indeed a planetary, not an orbital. A couple of Vikings moving on the map with the main army. This is a serious fort, by the way. No joke. Should have been capable of killing that had he stimped his army, but he didn't. Lost 10 supply there pretty much for free. As the Hero Marine starts pushing in forward. Loses another Marauder there. Not the greatest control so far out of Big Gate here. In this game on Roodhuset Station. As the 6th base is already going up. This is a scary fight for Skillet. Believes that he can take it. With the 2-2 upgrades against the 2-1. Snipes a lot of these Vikings. Disruptor will get taken out before the Purification Nova finishes up. That was nice. Stalker's now turning around. Will clear perhaps a couple more of them Vikings. I think could have stayed around for a bit longer, killing at least 1 extra Viking. What is the actual gateway count at though? We have 13 gates, 85 workers, 2.3k in the bank. And Hero Marine very far forward with these Vikings. Loses 2 but kills the Colossus. Also ends up killing another Stalker or 2. So really pretty decent trades here. High Zealot warp-ins happening here as well. Very high numbers of Zealots, 10 at a time. And perhaps a bit of a flank here coming in as well. Yes, there we go. Lots of Marauders in this army, no mines to help out. And that means that I do believe Skillet is going to push this back. We see a lift off. And an empty medevac is going to get sniped as well as maybe both of these Vikings. 2 Colossus still alive. Disruptor count is low. We're still only on 2 robotics facilities. I love the gateway count, don't get me wrong. But I also wouldn't mind seeing just 1 or 2 extra robotics facilities being added. I mean, the eco is here on 6 bases. Taking a gold could be a possibility. There we go. It's being done right now. Viking count is low. This is really scary actually for Skillet. It might not look like it, but his army is of relatively low quality here with a lot of Zealots in it. Not any serious splash. I mean, 2 Colossus and 1 Disruptor. That's usually not going to be enough. You have the Warp Prism Speed here coming in, the Graphitic Drive. And Fusion Core at the same time for Hero Marine. So, despite the massive eco advantage that Skillet has, I don't actually like his army very much. And this is just going to get a decent hit as well. And once again, not the greatest control. There's no Prism to help reinforce this position. As supplies right now are in favor of Skillet, but I think a lot of that is warp-ins at home. Yeah, once again, just pure Zealot. This base is toast. And all that Hero Marine needs to do is just max out. Max out, wait until he's maxed out, and go for it. I really believe this to be a viable way of playing right now for Hero Marine. As long as he's maxed out when he's fighting, I think he's going to win these fights. Because he's fighting against freaking 38 Zealots and 2 Disruptors. This is not an army with brilliant synergy. Let me tell you that much. It is not an army. This is like bacon and yogurt, okay? Individually, I'm sure they are delicious, but you mix those 2 bad boys together, they don't go too well together. The synergy just ain't there. Good blink forwards here. Hero Marine really needs to have a 200 army supply army together though, because this army just scales so freaking well into the late game. A couple more ghosts. I wouldn't even mind seeing some mines just being sprawled around the map as Skillis here takes, what is that? That's the 7th base now, as he got his gold cancelled. It's expanding rapidly, and the problem here for Hero Marine is that, oh, all that thought is we have a kind of a big fight here. Well, kind of a big fight, a pretty decently sized fight. 2 Disruptors are gonna get taken out. Cost efficiency wise, this is good for Hero Marine. Now he needs to go back home again, and I think just wait until he gets some Liberators in the mix as well. Like, I don't quite understand how Skillis here is planning on winning this game. At least I'm not seeing it quite yet, but 39. Freaking 39. 39 Zealots. Has lost 93 Zealots already in this game. It's quite a lot. That really is quite a lot. I think this move I'm not a huge fan of. We have quite a decent amount of supply over here as well. I really believe that this army performs best when it's in a giant ball with sufficient ghost here. Not when you're in a tiny ball, the potential of a Zealot flank. Well, big blink forward is going to lose Skillis a couple of Stalkers for free. Reinforcements now should be added in here, as Hero Marine probably wants to be kiting this all the way back home and is doing that so far. I mean, this is still nice for Hero Marine, I think. He's going to lose a bunch of Marauders. Has taken out a base, has spotted this base as well. Now the gold is being added in here for Skillet, who only has 74 units left, or 74 workers left. This really is quite a crap army. I'm so surprised by how bad this army looks. No Disruptors. No nothing, really, as Ghost EMPs are going to connect. Kiting is okay. No mines, once again, actually kind of being annoying here. Liberators now sieging up. Don't feel like this is the position you would want to fight in quite yet, though, is it? No, you want to move a bit further back. Lip's gonna get taken out as a result of the bad position taking. EMP's connecting. I am surprised how well this army is doing. I really am surprised. Even cost efficiency wise, I feel like this shouldn't be the case. There's something going wrong in Hero Marine's micro. Because if you have Ghost, Marine Marauder, and you're fighting against Baia or against a Gateway army, which is, this technically is a Gateway army. I mean, there's a couple of Immortals, but that's about it. I don't think it should be going this poorly. DT Zealots in the main base meanwhile, though, I completely missed that. My apologies for that. Seems like Hero Marine didn't quite miss it. It's gonna lose 11 workers, mainly here in the natural, as well as that command center. Prism's still alive. Well, not anymore. As this is actually a fairly bad trade, I think, with those Zealots and DTs in the main, but everything else kind of made up for it. We still see the income here. 1800 minerals a minute for Hero Marine against the 2900, well, the 3k minerals a minute for Skillis, who is mining from the gold now as well. Once again, Blinks in Prism with him. And it's going to get those big reinforcements in here too. Immortals dealing quite some damage on the ground. As this fight looks scary. And it kind of was scary, but not anymore. GG gets called, Skillis wins the game and ties up the series. Game number 3 here on Hecate. As we see Skillis roaming around with this probe. Whoop. Popping in and out, trying to take out a little SCV over there. Not quite happening. I think this was a very quick scout, like an instant scout, which has been becoming more and more popular. I've mentioned this before. I really didn't feel like it was any good initially, and now I'm starting to get around to it. Just by looking at timings of buildings, when they finish, when they start. You know, what in the world is actually kicking off here? That's what you always want to know. So you see the cybernetic score start at 126. That's actually fairly late. That's about 2 seconds too late. But, or well, 2 seconds later than usual. But when we take a look at the command center timing, for example, here. Usually command center timing at 138, 139. Well, actually, he just got it done at 139 anyway. Maybe Hero Marine just has magical SCV micro. Okay, I stopped believing again in this build order. This is all it took for me to give up hope. It really was. As we're gonna have the factory in the wall right now. Oh no. God, I'm so easy to convince. Factory in the wall, that's what I said. And second depot coming in. This is what is known as a factory before reactor. Now, we usually we kind of divide the build orders up in let's call it 3 different sections, okay? So you have your barracks into Reaper type of build order, and barracks into Marine, and then reactor before factory. Those builds have the exact same factory timing, okay? So they'll fit in one little section. And the second section is things like gas first, Reaper into factory, or barracks first into Marine into factory. And these also have the exact same factory timing. So as a Protoss player, these are like the 2 main categories you need to worry about. Then there are things like factory before CC, either from gas first Marine or from double gas into Reaper. Like these are the 3 real options you have. And it's very important for Protoss to realize what type of timing you're working against, so you know what to expect. So with the builds, so this build in particular has 2 less Marines. Just overall, usually at 3 minutes and 2 seconds into the game, there will be 5 Marines out if it is Marine into Reactor. However, there's only 3 Marines. Also, you see a Hellion about 18 seconds faster than usual. So these are just some things that as a toss, you're like, okay, do I want to switch something up? The mine drop can come 18 seconds quicker as well. We often see batteries being utilized as a tool to defend against this type of opener. Sometimes even double batteries is something you see, because maybe a double or a triple Hellion drop is going to be a possible strategy for the Terran. We have a 5 Marine. This is a very weird move out. Absolutely bananas, this move out. I've never seen this particular one before. Okay, it's going to be 7 Marine. Oh, he's going to go for a 7 Marine drop, I think. 7 Marine drop and then a 3 Hellion run by in towards the natural. I think that is the actual plan. And I think that is a good plan. I really believe this to be a pretty okay plan. No, wait, it's just hitting the net with everything. That's a plan I like a little bit less. I feel like Hellions together in a main army just don't make a whole lot of sense. This is a perfect defense here coming out of Skillless. Absolutely brilliant. And the thing with the Hellion is that it is the one unit out of the factory that never serves a purpose afterwards. Like, this is a unit purely for harass. The Cyclone, the Mine, the Tank, they can all still be used as kind of a mid-game tool or even a late-game tool. But, I mean, Hellions are just so freaking bad against everything that they serve no purpose except killing probes. So you just wasted 300 minerals into a unit that achieved 0 for you. That is very little for investing 300 minerals. I guess you got a bit of scouting, but that is about it. And you could have figured it out by seeing that there was a stalker. And it's like, oh, it's gonna be Blink. I mean, it's most of the time how it works, at least. Good split here from Skillless, who has good vision on the map. Shouldn't... Oh no, come on, Skillless. It's gonna need to recall if he ain't careful. It's gonna lose maybe a probe or 2. That was really sloppy, actually. This should have dealt 0 damage. It's still going to kill 0 probes, I think. Yeah. But at least it forced some mining time. I mean, still a god-awful trade there for Hero Marine overall, of course. Who is transitioning into Marine Marauder single tank? Double tank, okay. It's going to be moving out here with a double tank at a very early timing. Skillless moves across the map as he sees this. That's not really a move out, is it? This is more of like a forward siege, taking position on the map. Colossus are on the way here behind this for Skillless. That is important. Well, Colossus generally are important. Not sure if it's important that he's going for it right away. Could have also waited a bit longer and gone for charge initially. Usually when we do see these lower gate into fast third phase type of builds, we do see a transition into Colossus. The Observer ends up getting sniped here by Hero Marine. Oh, 4 Stalkers. Don't really want to fight into 2 tanks there, mate. 8 Marine drop being sent out towards the far left. This is a classic Hero Marine move. Absolutely loves doing this. There is a battery in the main base, so could be helpful potentially. And one of the problems you can have when playing Colossus is that you don't have a lot of gateways, and thus not a lot of units to split off from the main force. One Stalker does fall. Hero Marine actually seemingly in an okay position, despite the very poor early game. seems like Skillis is struggling to get the units that he wants. It's just a single Colossus. Gonna get a good 2 swipes, 3 swipes maybe, even if Hero Marine ain't careful. This bad boy lands into the main. We have I think there was a recall here that got utilized with 2 Stalkers. Third Stalker gets warped in as well. Quick little blink back. Tank gets taken out, super battery active. This was one of the best fights that I think Skillis could have hoped for. As he's now moving into another mine. So it's gonna lose a Stalker to the mine. That's just the way of the world sometimes. Double mine drop being sent out. Armory starts. So it's going to be a while until that mine drop will fly in, I think at least. Raven in the dead space. Hadn't even noticed that quite yet, to be honest. Getting 5 worker kills already. Okay. I dig that, I definitely do. Terrible fight for Hero Marine. Now the question, of course, is going to be, can he make up for that? Is there anything else here that he can do? And I think this mine drop is definitely going to help out. His macro is very good, though. I don't quite understand how it happens, but usually when you're watching Hero Marine games, it feels like everything goes wrong in the first 6-7 minutes, and then he wins the game in minute 8. It's like, well, that made no sense, but I love it. Here comes the mine drop. These mines are going to be practically useless. Oh, 4 kills, okay. I guess not. Is a mine drop ever truly useless? When you're pushing away some mining time anyway. As, yeah, this thing is gonna get taken out in the end here. And, ooh, Skillis. No. He's not paying attention as Hero Marine pops in over here. I'm not sure if Skillis is aware of the fact that there's still a mine here. And that could actually be kind of bad. As in another minus 6, 7, 8 probes or so. Okay, he did notice. This mine is a couple of seconds away from finishing their recharge. As the prism flies into a mine, will end up dying. No forward base yet here for Skillis, as 1-1 has started now. And honestly, not a huge fan of the position. It felt like the resources lost should also be better for Skillis after that first fight, but I guess it ain't. Second eBay now on the way here, Hero Marine, is that correct? Playing 2 eBays while also getting a Ghost Academy. Okay. So a lot of gas investment that I don't quite see how he's going to squeeze that one out there. See, yes, 6 gas mining, that's true, I guess. Has to halt his Viking production for a little bit then. Just for a little bit. Can start Ghost. Getting a second starport. He's just investing in every single gas structure right now. Double eBay. Ghost Academy, I mean, he can't produce Ghost. It's just as simple as that. Or he can't produce Vikings, or he can't produce +2 armor. Like, you can't build everything here at the same time. It just doesn't work quite like that usually. Hero Marine rotating into position here. Anti-armor could be huge if it gets used. There we go. You get to see it used as Vikings shooting at these Colossi. Guardian Shield definitely helping out against these double Viking shots, of course. Big blink forward here by Skillis will clear 1-2 Vikings. At the same time, a Zealot run by in towards the natural, dealing some serious damage as 7 SCVs have fallen. Another SCV is gonna end up going down, so make that 9 worker kills here. Marauders, Marines popping out right now. Skillis is going to continue pushing. I think without a prism, this might be a little bit of a mistake, though. I would prefer if Skillis just kind of takes it slow. We have a double Marine run by in towards the third. That's going to get taken out. We still have a mine in this position as well with 4 kills total. Skillis here in an okay position. Really, it's not great. It's fine. It really is just fine. Ghosts are about to pop. We have this Observer here as well, which I think Hero Marine should probably be capable of spotting at some point. It is in a fairly obvious location. So just when looking at the army and, you know, when moving the screen, you can often see something is wrong. So far, Hero Marine hasn't quite spotted that yet, or he doesn't have the energy for a scan. That's also a possibility, of course. He's kind of moving around over here. I think he's... yeah, now he saw it. I think he saw it. Just doesn't have a scan available. Is forward base perhaps in a bit of trouble here. +2 infantry weapons finishing up. That means that the incoming fight could be a bit better for Hero Marine due to the upgrade lead. No Zealot run-bys. There is a factory in the air. I think actually Hero Marine is one of the only players that doesn't continuously build Widow Mines in towards the late game, which is a huge surprise. Widow Mines are a massive tool for Terran, really. One of the best units in the entire game. For map control, for drops, for defending bases like this. Like, we'll see people like Clem just have like 2 mines over here and a mine over here and a mine over here, just randomly having them sprawled out. Helps so much against Zealot run-bys and Zealot attacks. And also just for spotters, it's great to have. It's difficult to keep map control without mines for Terran, and it's real easy to keep it when you do have them. Here comes a Disruptor, could get a big shot in. We'll get a big shot in. Well, I mean, it just gets killed. Almost got a big shot in. That's what I meant to say, I swear. 3 more barracks on the way. +3 hasn't quite started yet here for Hero Marine. Vikings will take care of the Prism here. That shouldn't be an issue. Don't think you want to use a recall for that, because you're so spread out right now as Skillas, right? You have a 5th base, you're taking a 6th. On 5 gases. 3-3 starting here. Quicker for Skillas than for the opponent. Lots of cannons going down on the far left side. I like that move a lot. As the Observer is going to get scanned. I think one thing that Skillas is struggling a little bit with is really just control on the left side of the map. Like, he has no vision at all. His entire side is just practically blind. Hero Marine's going to be pushing out with 1 big army. 1 big army to rule them all. Could actually take a decent fight here. Once more. We have what? 23 Marauders, 27 Marines, a couple of Ghosts, plenty of Vikings as well. As long as you're not fighting straight into a super battery. It's gonna be freaking rough here. Ship weapons haven't started quite yet. That is surprising to me, because there's plenty of cash available. No fusion core either. This battery could go down, but it doesn't. These DTs run in and will get taken out by the planetary. Having a mine at a planetary is also a huge move, by the way. Good split there by Hero Marine. He's not going to get hit by the Purification Novas, as this battery is still alive. I feel like Hero Marine is taking a lot of time to decide where he wants to fight. And then he still picks the same location as earlier, which I don't actually think is a great location. Maybe if he had taken out the battery a bit quicker, he could have had something here, but it's not the case at all. DT helping out. We see Skillas pushing forward. It could just be a distraction so that right side base stays alive. Could also be because Skillas believes he has a good fight on his hands. As he moves in forward. Hero Marine starts getting pushed back. We have a couple of DTs in the natural, but with a turret available as well as a Viking and a Ghost, that ain't going anywhere. Cannons, what is this? 1, 2, 6? 6 cannons. It's a good number. A couple of batteries in the back as well, of course, helping out with that healing. I always feel like you need like an extra unit though, a Templar or a Disruptor, to really kind of cement that defensive position. Static by itself against Terran is not so great, because Marine Marauder Ghost just deals with it so efficiently, especially if there's a medevac or 2 around as well. Interesting rotation here coming out of Skillas. I think Hero Marine is not expecting this whatsoever. At the same time, Prism heading in towards the main. Hero Marine once again with a swift response. This base could be toast, but I think the Stalker count is just a little bit too low actually. So, oh my god. That Purification Nova had loads of potential. Doesn't quite get the connections though. This army will, with the Zealots hitting all of these Marauders and Vikings pushing back, or sorry, Stalkers pushing back those Vikings. Nicely microed these Colossus away. I think this is looking absolutely fantastic here for Skillets once more. As 15 minutes into this game, 30 workers go down. Hero Marine taps out with a GG, and Skillet near max still is going to take game number 3 and put himself on match point. And as Skillet is on match point, we see Hero Marine playing the same build as he did in game number 1, or at least it feels very similar. So it's probably the exact same one. I didn't quite pay enough attention to the gas mining, but I'd assume that it's the exact same execution here. Double Reapers will deny the proper Adept Scout. Adept moves back here in towards the Watchtower area, where there's a couple of these fans, making it difficult for Reapers to kill. Because if you're on top of it, like, you need to really bump into it. I'm not quite sure how it works, but it's freaking difficult to scout them, or it's difficult to kill them. Adept here on the high ground. Second Adept also on the high ground. Is there a battery? It's far in the back. There's no Stalker. It is triple Adept. Straight into Phoenix, as this is being blocked here. By that single pylon. As all things should be blocked by a single pylon. Is that the second Phoenix on the way out? Yeah. Cyclone really needs to be careful. Because you're a couple of seconds away from just being picked up by these Phoenixes and dying. Here comes Hero Marine. with a potential scout, sees that there are a lot of Reapers, and it is usually indicative of a Stargate opener, as the Phoenixes go out for a little scout. And I'm not quite sure what to think of that. Not quite sure what to think of these build orders and how they match up here. Potential for serious damage coming out of Hero Marine with the 3 racks as the Reaper pops on in. I think saw the Phoenix producing or saw the Phoenix finish. Has spotted those 2 Phoenixes as well. Now trying to just deny information. Doesn't want his opponent to figure out that it is a 3 racks build, as we have these Marauders once again being produced. Hero Marine feeling comfortable with this build, I guess. Feeling very comfortable with this build. Phoenix is under some heavy fire. Oh, Marines coming in from the side. As double depots are gonna get constructed here. Starboard on the way as well. Hero Marine actually kind of walking into a bit of a supply block here, which is sloppy, because that's going to delay his production a little bit. 2 Marines currently not being built. It's gonna start moving out at this point. Immortal on the way. Second battery being constructed as well, as a Nexus should start here momentarily. Phoenix is taking out SCVs, mules, SCVs, mules, SCVs, mules. What are we taking out? More SCVs, perhaps some mules. What do you want to do, bud? We can talk about it. We can talk about it all day. Immortal here, halfway done. Oh, this is a second Immortal already. Oh, this is a very easy hold then for Skillas. He's just delaying his 3rd base and... Oh, that was like half a second away from 5 Marines going down against force fields, and definitely would have been worth it. Meanwhile, Phoenixes have just been counter-attacking. I love this. So, usually it's kind of an awkward situation as a Protoss here, where it's like, oh, you want to kind of have the Phoenixes at home, but they're so useless against Marine Marauder with Stim, right? So instead, Skillas says, hey, I'm going to delay my 3rd base and my Phoenixes will just kill workers. So my eco is still going to be better than yours, but not because I have a fast 3rd, but because I kill your work. It's actually a really cool move here. I like that. It's dealing some harassment, because usually it feels kind of risky to do, but because you also want to get a 3rd base at a decent timing. Phoenix barely stays alive. Nice control there by Skillas, and just overall very solid gaming so far. Forge plus Twilight, 2 more gateways coming in as well. As Skillas seems to be loving his life right now. Colossus about to pop. That's the first one. Needs to be real careful that he doesn't lose any of these Phoenixes against a Marine Marauder squad. Phoenix, fake Phoenix moving around. That guy ain't real. No one likes him. But that's gonna get taken out. Or at least pushed back. Forced back towards the 3rd base. Supply... Oh, wait, what? Oh, this is a really wild 2-base all-in, by the way. This is a mass Viking all-in. You actually never see that. Except Skillas has seen it now. Heh. Okay, that is so interesting. I'm not actually very familiar with this build at all. So this must be an anti-Phoenix Colossus build, because you're gonna get a lot of Vikings really quickly. So what is it great against? Now, it's great against lower Phoenix numbers, I think. So if the Protoss player stops at like what? Like 3-4 Phoenixes and quickly transitions out, I think this would be really good. I think against higher Phoenix counts, the problem is that you're not gonna get to the Colossus in time, I'm afraid. Although, wow, there's hardly any units. Okay, wait, there's a couple up here as well. 1 Phoenix dies already. Stalker being warped in, as the Viking count is up to 8 right now. Loads of Marines in this army as well, which makes sense because you're planning on killing all the Colossus. Phoenixes are pushing this back at least a little bit. Double Guardian Shields active. As, well, 1 more Viking is gonna get taken out. Honestly, pretty decent hold here initially coming out of Skillas. The question now is, will the second part of the hold also be good? As Phoenix gonna get pushed back here. Can Colossus move in towards the main base is the question. I think the answer is yes. Do we have enough Phoenixes to deal with this? I think the answer is no. That means that these Colossus could also be in some trouble. At the same time, we have an attack here at the front by these Marines. Colossus will take care of that. Sloppy control by El Hero Marine. This is not great. This is a very damaged army as well. So Marine-centric. As 4 more Vikings will pop out. There's 3 Colossus. It's going to be 13 Vikings versus 3 Colossus, but right now it is 2 Vikings versus 3 Colossus, as the other units haven't quite been capable of reinforcing yet. Hero Marine also finds himself on the wrong side of the road here, where his reinforcements can't really just move over here. Ideally, Hero Marine wants his opponent to disengage here. Don't even think you can pretend to base trade with this army. Yeah, she's going to be pushing back, tries to take out these rocks at a high pace, and is going to barely escape, but medevacs are very low. This army is very, very low, as this should be a recall probably, shouldn't it? Prism almost dies. I really think this should be a recall. I don't think this can be anything but a recall right now. There we go. Does go in with the recall. Don't forget that this is still 3 base versus 2 base, actually, with a 4th base on the way already here for Skillas. 12 Vikings. The first Archons have hit the field right now. I feel like just moving back those Colossus altogether, using them later on in a fight, maybe when the Vikings have landed, would be better here. So right now you're just losing them for free, and there's really no point. SCV's being pulled off the line as well as big stim being used. There's not that much energy actually remaining. A lot of these Marauders in the deep orange. Some of them in the yellow still, only having used a single stim. Yeah, Skillas, I think he's fine, but I'm not entirely sure either. A couple of these SCVs are falling as the Vikings now want to commit. The thing though is that a lot of supply is in those Vikings. There's nothing really to deal with the Archon Immortal stuff. Guardian Shield, are you available? No, not quite. Needs to wait for that probably. Purification Nova could be big here. Wants to just zone out this army. Can we get a snipe? Yes, we can get a snipe. A couple of Zealots are being spread out there towards the bottom side. We still have the Super Battery available. It's being used right now. Guardian Shield gets used once more. As I think that Skillas is just pushing this back. It is 87 army supply to 62. But all of these units are A, they are bad because there's a bunch of Vikings there. And B, they're very damaged, which means that both Immortals, Archons and Zealots are just going to be dealing a lot of damage against them. Skillas here, up 20 supply total with very solid reinforcement abilities. 10 gateways pumping out units this entire time. And Hero Marine does not have what it takes to take out the Liquid Protoss. And that is going to be it for this series, as Skillas wins 3-1. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this series. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.